Zoom.
Today, we're going to look at two classic iconic characters on television, Ralph Kramden and Archie Bunker. Stay tuned until the end, and we're going to play a little trivia. Who said it? Attribute which lines went to Archie Bunker or Ralph Kramden at the end of this show.
Will you stifle yourself?
Each decade in film history seems to have iconic comedy duos where one is portly and the butt of many jokes, and the other is thin and rather simple or innocent. We can go back to the 1920s with Laurel and Hardy. Both Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy had successful movie careers apart from each other, but they are only known for their films where they teamed with each other. From the 1920s into the early 40s, they were unstoppable, but by the mid-40s, their popularity waned. Their last film together was 1951's Atoll K.
Take that snakeskin off and get that cargo aboard. What about me?
The less said of that production, the better. Together, they would produce 106 films, both shorts and feature-length films. 27 of them would be features.
That's enough. A fine mess you got us in. You're fired. All right, then I'm fired. You're quit. Fired. I quit. Give me my money.
There's another nice mess you've gotten me into. What do you mean, I got you into?
Another similar duo that arose in the 40s to take their place were Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. Abbott and Costello's film career began with 1940's One Night in the Tropics. Their collaboration would end with 1956's Dance With Me, Henry. Their popularity began to wane, and this film met with mixed reviews. Bud and Lou would also have a falling out, as is evidenced by 1958's 30-Foot Bride of Castle Rock.
Do you still love me?
From the tip of your toes to the top of your head.
Lou Costello's last film before his death, and Bud Abbott is nowhere to be found. As their star was waning, there came another iconic duo, one portly, the other thin.
I don't want you to forget, Norton. I am the king in my castle. The king, Norton. I rule my kingdom.
It was Jackie Gleason, along with Art Carney, in The Honeymooners. The Honeymooners was originally a sketch show on Jackie Gleason's original TV series. Then it evolved into its own series, and even though it only lasted one season of 39 episodes, The Honeymooners would continue into the 1970s, once again on the Jackie Gleason show. Gleason and Carney continued. However, the wives would change. Alice and Trixie were played by Audrey Meadows and Joyce Randolph on the original series. They would later be played by Sheila McRae and Jane Keane. As the Jackie Gleason show ended in the 1970s, the next portly actor in a comedy duo to emerge would be the very next year in 1971 on All in the Family.
And they're all free to live in their own separate sections. Where they feel safe, and they bust your head if you go in there.
Carroll O'Connor became Archie Bunker, and his son-in-law would be his comic foil, the meathead, Mike Stivic, who was played by Rob Reiner. This show also tried for the Ralph Kramden-Ed Norton dynamic. They introduced the character of Stretch Cunningham. However, Carroll O'Connor became jealous of James Cromwell, who played Cunningham, and soon the character was killed off.
What's going on here?
I guess Stretch must have been Jewish.
Stretch Jewish with a name like Cunningham?
Archie Bunker continued into the 80s after All in the Family with Archie Bunker's Place. But without Rob Reiner, the show limped along with uneven ratings and finally left the air in 1984.
That's one thing I can't do. I don't believe a word of anything I'm saying around here. This ain't natural. No, I don't like her. I don't like her. What am I, a cat or something? Why can't I have a hot meal? I'll tell you why I can't have a hot meal. And you're doing this. Lady Liberty standing there in the harbor with her torch on high, screaming out to all the nations of the world. Send me your poor, your deadbeats, your filthy. I don't know anybody does the mambo. I don't do it. Norton doesn't do it. My grandmother never did it. Tell me everybody does it. This is going on. And this is going on! You're gonna do the mambo. You're gonna do the mambo, but it's gonna be in the moon.
And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep it up.
Finally, Peter cares about keeping something up.
Lois, will you stifle yourself?
On me, not what I saw on you.
One of these days, Alice, one of these days.
Pow! Right in the kisser?
To the moon, Alice!
But how, Burns? How? Did they beam on board? Did they suddenly materialize? How did they get here?
They just stepped out from behind the curtains. They have sort of drab clothing, except that around the neck of the leader is a brightly colored piece of cloth.
Is there anything else odd about their clothing?
I'm a doctor, not a tailor, damn it.
The next comedy duo with a portly actor and a thinner actor were Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, who got their start on Saturday Night Live. They did a couple of films together. 1941. I don't believe they had many, if any, scenes together in 1941. Then they would do the ultimate classic that they are known for, The Blues Brothers, and after that came Neighbors. Belushi was originally going to be in Ghostbusters, but he passed away, and the role would be filled by Bill Murray.
Would you guys like to become like the Abbott and Costello of the 90s?
Oh, that'd be great. They sure did. That's been great. Fatty and Skinny has worked through the ages.
Another idea for a comedy duo with a portly, bombastic curmudgeon and a skinny sidekick continued into the 90s with David Spade and Chris Farley.
I was writing there when you showed up, and then Chris Farley showed up,
Yeah.
and you guys clicked right away.
Yeah. And I go, if this is Fat Guy in a Little Coat, it's not funny anymore. I don't like it.
Oh, right.
And he goes,
Right.
no, it's not. I'm working on new stuff.
That guy in a little coat.
Take it off, kid. I'm serious.
Richard, what's happening?
And I turn around, he had my little Levi jacket on. He goes, Fat Guy in a Little Coat, don't you quit on it!
And even though they only did 2 movies together, Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, they also had numerous comedy sketches on Saturday Night Live, just like Belushi and Aykroyd. And the most recent comedy duo to have a portly actor with a thinner actor was Seth Rogen, along with James Franco, in several movies together. But let's get back to the subject of our show. The similarities between Ralph Kramden and Archie Bunker are numerous. Both are hard-working stiffs. Ralph is a bus driver for the fictional Gotham Bus Company, while Archie works at a plant and drives Munson's cab on Sundays to make ends meet. Both have gruff exteriors, but wind up being old softies who love their families. According to MeTV, perhaps 2 of the biggest personalities across classic television, Archie Bunker of All in the Family and Ralph Kramden of The Honeymooners, play iconic characters. Carroll O'Connor and Jackie Gleason, respectively, didn't hold back when it came to speaking about what was on their mind. They did so rather loudly in most cases as well. Sure, there are plenty of differences between Bunker and Kramden, but what they say tends to run together just a little bit. Now for our trivia quiz. Thank you to MeTV for providing these questions. Who said the following lines? First line. Now get those sandwiches wrapped and ready to go, E. Second line. Well, as the bride said to the groom when they took the burnt steak out of the oven, it's as good as done. Next line. You gotta do it. Don't you know that people make a fortune of the commercials? Next line. I'm telling you, if he wasn't my best friend, I'd have nothing to do with him. And the final line. See, the reason you don't know about it is because I'm modest. Okay, now here are the answers. If you haven't figured it out yet, hit the pause button. Answer number 1, Archie. Line number 2, answer, Ralph. Line number 3, answer, Archie. Line number 4, answer, Ralph. And the final line also goes to Ralph. That was our show for today. What about you? Were you a big fan of Ralph Kramden? How about Archie Bunker? Did you prefer one over the other? Let me know in the comments section below. While you're at it, I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel, click the bell to stay informed, and check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise, which is also in the comments. Until next time, this is Kevin Given saying, live long and prosper, may the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.